Dear students, today I have taken up the chapter Packing from the Beehive book of class 9th. In this video, you'll find the summary of the chapter Packing. At the end of the summary, I would also give you the theme and the message that you get from the story Packing. At the same time, I'll also be discussing the character sketch of the main characters of the story. Thank you, dear friend, for coming back on EME Education Made Easier, a channel just for you. If you've not yet subscribed my channel, do subscribe the channel because there's a lot more to come and each video is definitely going to be beneficial for you. So let's begin with the summary of the story. This is an extract from a novel, Three Men in a Boat, written by Jerome K. This is a humorous extract about the confusion and mess created by people who are inexperienced in the art of packing. So in the story, we have three friends, Jerome, Harris and George, who are about to set out on a journey. The story begins with the important task of packing stuff for this journey. Jerome, the narrator, overestimates his packing skills and tells his friends to let him handle it all by himself. However, his real intention is to make George and Harris do the packing under his supervision and guidance. But his friends take his advice seriously and to his great shock stretch themselves comfortably, leaving him with all the running around. Though irritated with their attitude, Jerome straight away gets busy with packing. After a long drawn packing session, he finally straps up the bag. Both his friends watch him quietly, and when he is done with packing, Harris declares that the shoes have been left unpacked. The bag has to be reopened again to accommodate the shoes. An irritated Jerome is just done with the packing of the shoes when he is reminded of his toothbrush. Unsure about having packed his toothbrush, Jerome has to empty the bag and hunt through all its contents to locate the brush. After a lot of efforts, he finds the brush in one of the booths. Anyhow, the bag is packed again. Eventually, it's past 10 when the packing is finally done. Keeping in mind the amount of time taken by Jerome to pack the bag, George and Harris decide to pack the hampers themselves and show Jerome the real art of packing. However, they are equally clumsy and break a cup at the very outset. This is followed by squashing a tomato, treading on the butter, and smashing the pies by putting heavy things on them. Salt flies all over while they are packing. After peeling the butter off George's slipper, they try unsuccessfully to squeeze it into the kettle. They finally scrape it and put it down on the chair. Harris sits on it and the butter gets stuck to his back. Then both these men go about searching for the butter all over the room. Later, George locates it behind Harris's back and it is packed in the teapot. Montmorency, their pet dog, contributes his bit to this exercise of packing by sitting on things, climbing into the jam, and crushing lemons as though they were rats. Finally, the packing is done by 12:50 at night. This is followed by a discussion on the wake-up time, and George is so tired that he sleeps off even before the time is decided upon. Jerome and Harris decide that 6:30 in morning would be the right time to get up and they too go off to sleep. What is the theme of the story Packing? Well, packing is based on the theme that routine tasks are not as easy as they seem to be. The humorous account amuses the readers with the chaotic and confusing situations created by the clumsiness of three friends, all of whom consider packing to be a child's play. What about the message that you get from the story Packing? Well, the chapter humorously describes the do's and don'ts of packing. Packing should not be treated as a frivolous activity but as a serious task. that involves concentration and deftness. Now let me give you the character sketch of the characters of this story. First comes Jerome. Jerome is the narrator of the story, and the entire gamut of events are depicted from his point of view. He is overconfident and rates his packing skills a bit too high. He is also arrogant and expects his friends to carry out the tedious part of packing while he sits back and passes orders. His friends, however, do not take him seriously, and finally he has to struggle while packing the bag. Jerome is both clumsy and forgetful. He first forgets to pack the shoes and then can't recall if he has put in his toothbrush or not. When his friends fumble while packing the hamper, he sits at the edge of the table and watches them because now it is his turn to have fun at their expense. However, he is an extraordinary boy who ignores the shortcomings of his friends in the same way as he ignores his own. George and Harris are the friends of the narrator Jerome. Both of them are as clumsy, ill-organized, forgetful, and casual as Jerome. They commit mistakes even while doing ordinary tasks and keep repeating these mistakes. Like Jerome, they too are mistaken about their talent to pack stuff and are overconfident about their performance. Their action amuses the readers, especially when they misplace the butter and search for it all over the place. Somehow, in spite of making a fool of themselves while packing for the trip, they don't believe in any blame game and ignore each other's mistake. How can we forget Montmorency, the pet dog? Montmorency is the pet dog of the three friends, Jerome, George, and Harris. He is a pampered pet and knows no restraints on his behavior. His animal instinct to probe everything creates a nuisance for his masters. He likes to be the part of all the activities going on in the house and gets excited to see the boys packing things. He doesn't mind being shouted at and does not even respond when they try to move him away from the packed stuff. He is a super energized pet, and no amount of scolding dampens his enthusiasm. He may be ill-trained, temperamental, destructive, and meddlesome, but he is loved by the readers as much as his masters. His presence in the story makes it more interesting and amusing. With this, I come to the end of the chapter packing. See you in the next video. Till then, bye-bye.